learn to write. I'm dead serious about that because writing is formalized thinking.
Hi everyone. So I saw a thumbnail of Vivek Ramaswamy talking about learning to read and reading to learn. And I want to talk about this issue and bring it to light because I do not think the school system truly understands this dilemma. I want to present to you 4 great resources that have helped me understand writing at its core, resulting in the publication of 2 books with more on its way.
Pick some hard problems and learn to write very, very carefully. And when I say pay attention to the word, I mean that. Pick the right words. Organize them into the right phrases. Get your sentences straight. Hone your words. They're the most powerful thing about you, bar none. If you are an effective writer and speaker and communicator, you have all the authority and competence that there is. The best thing you can do is read and write every day. Couple of hours every day. Write about things you find important and see if you can discover what you believe to be true. And that'll build you a foundation. And it's unbelievably practical. Like if you look at people who are phenomenally successful across life, there's various reasons, but one of them is they're unbelievably good at articulating what they're aiming at and strategizing and negotiating and enticing people with a vision forward. It's like, get your words together, man. That makes you unstoppable. And that's the core of the humanities, that idea. Get your words together. Make yourself an articulate creature, and then you're deadly in the best possible way.
There's an inflection point where people must pass from learning to read and write to using reading and writing to learn and think. Math is not about number crunching, contrary to what you may think, even though school may have trained you that way. Writing is essential for solving mathematical problems and communicating those solutions with other people.
We got to buckle up and start with bringing standards to our schools. One thing we're doing in Ohio, the 3rd grade reading guarantee, we're bringing it back. If you can't read by the end of 3rd grade, you're not going to 4th grade until you can, not on my watch. Because that's the crucial point in a kid's journey where you make the transition from learning to read to reading to learn. And if you don't make that transition around 4th grade, your chance of achieving success in life falls like a rock off a cliff. Your chance of ending up on government aid goes through the roof. That's unacceptable. And yet today, in the Ohio 8, whether the big 8 school districts in Ohio, that rate is less than 45% of kids who are literate by 4th grade. 75% of students aren't proficient in math by 8th grade.
There are 3 main ways humans communicate. There are more, of course, but these are the main ways. We speak, we write, and we draw. If you can become proficient in those 3 categories, you have the potential to change the world. The school system trains you to think that you write an essay to get a grade to pass a class in order to be free from school. What a waste of time. You start learning how to write by reading what other people have written. Then you want to get to the point where you use your writing as a tool to learn and think, rather than merely pass a class. There's always going to be a problem more complex than you can completely solve in your head. This single scene from the movie Finding Forrester gave me the key idea to write my first book. When you write, you just write. You don't worry about spelling, grammar, structure, or even logic. It's all passion. It's all heart.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and what?
Write.
What are you doing?
I'm writing. Like you'll be when you start punching those keys. Is there a problem?
No, I'm just thinking.
No. No thinking. That comes later. You write your first draft with your heart. And you rewrite with your head.
In other words, everything is an art before it becomes a science.
The first key to writing is to write, not to think.
You are just trying to release these ideas from your mind. Any interference from checking your grammar hinders that process, and you may lose great ideas. Our mind has a geometric representation of a cube, or a cylinder, for which writing allows a person to project those ideas onto a large plane, i.e. a piece of paper, thus allowing a greater global view of ideas. You are trying to figure something out in your head, and you can't get it. But as you start writing, all this stuff starts pouring out. Then you start meditating over what you have written. It's like cycling over and over the material. And from that, you are able to connect more and more with the ideas.
You are operating at the most sophisticated levels. When I work with faculty on this and other campus, I am working with people who are, after all, on the frontiers of knowledge. They're thinking stuff nobody's thought before. This is very hard stuff. So, here's what you're doing. You are thinking about your world in very difficult ways. This is a terrifically good thing, and it's the source of most of the value of your work. Now, you are also writing about that world, and this is where the problem starts arising. Unlike a journalist, almost surely you are using your writing process to help yourself think. In other words, the thinking that you're doing is at such a level of complexity that you have to use writing to help yourself do your thinking. This is quite different from high school students. My high school teachers told me, Larry, there are two different processes. First, there's a thinking process, then there's a writing process. I had a teacher who said to me, you are not ready to write your first word until you are finished thinking. And she said to me, to prove this to you, I'm going to have you, whenever you turn in a paper, I'm going to have you turn in the outline you use to do your thinking. This was not a problem for me. First I wrote the paper, then I wrote the outline. But I thought I was the only one. I thought everybody else, when they did this thinking, just, thought it till they were done. And then their essay, like Athena, burst from their forehead onto the page. I was trying to keep it secret that I didn't work that way. Nobody works that way. It doesn't mean you don't have outlines or a good idea. It doesn't mean you don't take notes. It's a good idea. It doesn't mean you don't have other ways of thinking, but you are using your writing to help yourself think. If you don't do this, for most people, you cannot think at the level you need to think.
Therefore, writing is not linear. Writing is not a linear process. Never let your business and money get ahead of you becoming a better person, a smarter person, a more caring person, a more patient person. Ideally, it should be done in tandem. Becoming a better person should be greater than or equal to the success of the business. Otherwise, this is how corruption occurs. If you are learning from the free resources from this channel, then you'll love my book, Learning Isn't Linear, available on Amazon.com. It contains crisp illustrations to accompany non-standard problems with extremely detailed solutions. The link is in the description. If you get the ebook version using the Kindle, there are clickable links throughout the book to Desmos and GeoGebra projects. It is very easy to search within the book for specific topics. As you can see, chapters range from algebra to calculus. Whether you are a self-motivated student solving problems on your own, or a teacher preparing for a math class, this book is a valuable resource to add to your repertoire. Okay, till next time, and remember, prioritize long-term learning over short-term test taking.